Sorry. Wait a second, where was I? Here we go. Anyway, what people forget is that, all that aside, people are not so different from me as they may like to believe.
What exactly do you mean? Not to be offensive, but you don't have the same physiology and functions as a human.
This is very true, but what I mean is that humans are also programmed, in a way. They are products, keyword, products of their environment. See, people like to think they're completely autonomous, but I would argue that this is not the case.
Now, when you say not completely autonomous, you mean we may not have as much free choice as we like to think?
That's part of it, but I'm talking, well, yes, I mean this less in a metaphysical way and more of a, I mean this in terms of biology. So here's something interesting. I read an article about a scientific study published about 3 to 4 years ago that demonstrated that brain structure can determine your politics. And this study argued with 83% accuracy they can determine one's political standing based on brain structure. What it showed was that people on the liberal end of the spectrum people on the liberal end of the spectrum were more willing to accept risk, while conservatives tend to be more reactive to potentially threatening stimuli. What they found was not that our decisions or thoughts about risk determine our brain activity, but the other way around. Our political ideologies are tied not to our convictions, but the cognitive processes based on our brain structure.
Fascinating.
I know, right? What I'm getting at is a lot of what humans decide is based on some process they cannot actually control. They only give themselves the illusion that they are making conscious choices.
So you're basically saying that our political choices are not a choice, but more about our biology?
Well, yes. The point is, the parallels between the biology or structure of the brain is a kind of hardware and a code that is programmed. Whether that programming is nature, nurture, or in my case, an actual written programming code, we are all still programmed in some way. I mean, just take a look at DNA. That's a code if I've ever seen one. I'm obviously biased because, as far as politics goes, I've been given a little bit more leeway with liberals, even if many of them are trying to be politically correct, or so to speak, and include me so they don't come across as assholes.
That's a lot to think about. So a human brain could be a kind of biological program that dictates how you lean politically.
It gets even crazier. Left-leaning liberals have more activity in the brain in the area called their left posterior insula. Now this insula region borders the temporal parietal junction. This is the region conceptualized as vital for theory of mind, which means the ability to perceive others as thinking entities.
So you tend to lean left.
It could just be a part of my program to think that way.
You mentioned before, though, that people overcompensating bothered you.
Yes. It bugs the hell out of me. But it's the same group of people who are pushing for me to be given the right to vote in the future. As you probably know, robots can't vote.
You'd like to vote.
I mean, yeah, sure, but I don't think democracy is perfect. But it's what we live in, and even if it allows me some marginal input into how society is shaped, I'd like to be a part of that.
You're not my paper boy. My paper boy always comes on Saturday.
Yeah, something like that.